Testing, testing. Okay, microphone's good. All right, so welcome to the stream, everyone. Just getting things started. I'm going to talk about the deck for a minute or two, and then let's see, and then we'll get things going. Don't want pile view, we want card view. So we're going to be playing some Soulherder tonight. I just added everyone in the Discord, and not everyone, but the people who are around. I guess that means people who are active or awake, just to try it out. I know people don't like being added, so I imagine I'll get some complaints. I expected this kind of reaction. My bad, y'all. Just thought you might like to watch some Soulherder in action. That's why we're here, I guess. So leave that alone for the time being. And yeah, just go ahead and get started on talking about the build that I've been on for the last week or so. So I had been kind of like a basic Bant list for a while. Then I went back to red. Just it seemed like I guess maybe McDerp was back on Avalanche Riders and said he had been doing pretty well with it. Bunch of 4-1s. So I went back to Avalanche Riders. You know, I'm sort of here and there. It's very similar with Merfolk right now. Like there's no real definitive build. So just kind of do what feels good from like moment to moment. Kind of waiting for new sets to come out, new ETB creatures to be printed for us to mess around with. So eventually, after playing red, I kind of went back to black because I really like Siege Rhino. It's nice to have this alternative win condition. If the opponent's pretty low on life and you've got a Court of Calling, you don't have to worry about breaking a board stall. You just go get a Lightning Helix to finish the game. I have been running Lavinia and Stonehorn both in the main deck. When you're running 80 cards and you've got these, you know, I guess so-called extra spaces in the deck, I feel like there's no reason to not run these incredibly powerful kinds of effects with our strategy. And there's so many decks that can get shut down by Stonehorn. You know, just from simple aggressive decks. I guess something like as simple as like 8-whack, basic aggro like Affinity. It's not Affinity anymore, I guess Hardened Scales. You know, just get this thing out and it gains you so much time, if not just infinite time in combination with Soulherder. Lavinia, very similar to Stonehorn. It's just like, you know, two slightly different versions of the same card. Lavinia also just lets you punch through damage. So basically, 4 Siege Rhinos. I was on 4 Vencers, trying to mimic the Avalanche Rider effect of being able to sort of set the opponents back on lands if we're in a spot where that would actually be a powerful strategy. You know, if we have 4 mana out, play Vencer, bounce a land. Kind of similar to destroying a land, not as powerful in that sort of niche circumstance, but obviously Vencer does a lot of other stuff. He can bounce anything we need to bounce, whether from the stack or from the board, can bounce our own things. But partially because he's legendary, partially because I needed to fit in a lot of other stuff, I trimmed him down to 3. Cord and Eternal Witness definitely staying at 4s, particularly with 80 cards. I think McDerp in the Discord in the Avalanche Riders build that he's been working with, he cut back to like 3 Witnesses and 3 Cords. I think he's back on 4 Cords now. These are really, really core, so I'm never going to go less than 4 on these cards. Uro has just always felt awesome, so I'm back up to 2. I wanted to try more, but the card is $60 right now, so not really feeling spending $60 on more Uros. Hey Neil, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Been having fun with this Black Siege Rhino build. As far as dorks go, I was on 8, but again, it's always this issue of making more space for other important cards. I've got the 2 Wall of Roots kind of rounding out the ramp part of the deck for 8 dorks. It's felt fine to me. We definitely want some number of Wall of Roots with Cord. It's such a good card. Charming Prince, I think I mentioned last stream that I had played without it at points in the past, and then you find yourself just wishing that you could Cord for it to save a creature. So Charming Prince is back in the deck and probably going to stick around for a long time, just given the flexibility of the card, particularly with Chord of Calling. I've got the Deputy, got the Knight, got the Resto. So, it's pretty much what Bant 80 card Soulherder is trying to do right now, with the addition of the Siege Rhinos and a little bit of black in the mono base. I had been on 28 lands running more dorks, but honestly, I just felt like I was keeping a lot of hands where I was like starting with maybe 1 dork and 2 lands, or even a dork and a land, or 2 dorks and a land. Just felt slightly short on lands. And just with 28, I just felt like the variance with the lands was a little bit higher than I liked. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to say that I can feel the difference between 28 and 29 lands, but I trimmed a dork and went back up to 29 lands. I had always been on 29 lands, but it had been suggested that between running 4 birds, 4 noble hierarchs, and some number of Wall of Roots, you could trim back the mono base a little bit. But yeah, 29 feels much better, I think. Everyone's abuzz with the companion rules change. Excited to not see turn 3 Luris. I'm right there with you, DV. I think it's a very interesting approach that Wizards took. I think that they've got other companions in the pipeline for sure in upcoming sets, and it just seemed like they felt they didn't want to have another Luris. Like maybe one of the cards they've already designed and are very close to printing is pretty strong, and maybe they didn't want to break the format again, so they just nerfed the entire mechanic. I sort of felt like just banning Luris would have been the best response, because it was the card that was breaking the format. Urian, pretty good, but it's not like in 50% of decks or something like that. It's totally possible that if they ban Luris, that Urian would take over the format. But if that happens and you ban Urian, it's like whatever, just ban cards. I feel like the mechanic was sort of fine, right? The idea is to balance deck building constraints against the power level of the card. Nothing wrong with that idea. You just have to get better at it, right? I mean, they just messed up one card really bad. Playing 80 cards in order to get the benefit of getting Urian, it's a real cost. But I guess now we're just going to have to all deal with paying 3. And so it's a very interesting approach that they took. And there's been some debate on the Discord about which decks and which companions are hit the hardest. I think the consensus seems to be that Luris is hit the hardest, and that Urian doesn't suffer nearly as much, particularly in control strategies when they're not really doing too much with their mana in the early part of the game anyway. So, and they want to take games longer and longer and longer. So you'll play against control and get to turn 10 when they can just, pay 3 and get Urian and start the clock ticking, right? The rumor is that the next set already designed. Yeah, DV, I was just getting at that, and I agree with you. I'm pretty sure it's going to appear again. I don't think that they're done with companions. So they wanted to try to balance the way that the whole mechanic works. So after the fact. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think that Urian's going to get hit that hard. Our deck runs a bunch of dorks, so one line that might end up being kind of a typical line for us to look out for once the new rule goes into effect is, turn 1, play a dork. Turn 2, play a land, and then pay 3 just to get your Ryan in your hand, right? Turn 4, we untap, we've got a dork, play a land, we've got 4 mana. Maybe you play a wall, you have 1 extra mana, a wall into a 3-drop, or maybe you play just double Ice Fang, or you play a Charming Prince and an Ice Fang. Whatever you're going to do, you got 4 mana to get some stuff on the board, right? Maybe you play another dork, an Astrolabe, and a 2-drop, right? Then you untap on turn 4, and you play your 4th land. You've got your dork. You've got 5 mana. You can play your Ryan and blink the stuff on your board. You're still ahead of curve, even paying 3 mana for your Ryan on turn 2. So now, obviously, opponent can bolt our dork. They can thought seize the Urian out of our hand. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and you probably modify your approach based on the deck that you're playing against. But it's just to say that, turn 1 dork into turn 2 Urian in hand, not the worst line for us. Again, you're gonna adjust based on what you have in your hand and what you're playing against. But I don't feel like the nerf is gonna just totally destroy 80 card Soulherder. So looking at the sideboard for a sec, I had tried Mystical Dispute a little bit. I don't think that card is nearly as impactful across the entire format as Veil is. Veil is good against control decks, but it's also good against mid-range decks. Obviously, there's a ton of mid-range in the format right now, and while we're pretty favored in mid-range matchups in general, in a very sort of broad sense, if they're all over the place, I don't see a reason to not pack a card that just is such a house at 1 mana and is so easy to recycle with Eternal Witness. So I'm on 4 Veils. Everything else in the sideboard is a singleton, just because we're kind of a toolbox deck. Up until very recently, I had still the Goblin, whatever it's called, Crater Maker, that you can sack to deal 2 damage to a creature or to blow up a colorless permanent. Extremely powerful ability, but now that I'm back onto black rather than the red Avalanche Riders build, I kind of wanted to reduce the amount of red cards that I had in the deck. You don't want to have Astrolabe or Birds, and you don't really want to have to play a Stomping Grounds in what is basically a Bant deck with a Black Splash. Magus, however, has won me games, so still playing Magus. The card is so good against Amulet Titan. They spend the first few turns getting their board all built up. Maybe they go and fetch Valakut with Primeval Titan. They play a Dryad. You get Magus down, and the Valakut's not doing anything for the rest of the game. So I've been loving Magus. So even though it's red, it's still in the deck. And the rest are just, the Soulherder sideboard all-stars, basically. The Goblin Crater Maker got replaced with the Kazali Pride Mage. Both of them are primarily outs to Torpor Orb. I actually faced an Orb today or yesterday against Eldrazi Tron, and I can't remember if I won or lost the match, but it did work. I mean, Torpor Orb is a great card against us. I feel like I probably lost that match. So Pride Mage, obviously easier to cast in our colors. Doesn't hit as much stuff as the Crater Maker. Crater Maker can destroy any colorless thing. It can destroy like an Ugin, which is pretty amazing. But Crater Maker can't destroy, for example, like Phyrexian Unlife, whereas Kazali Pride Mage can. That's a good point. I haven't been playing with Assassin's Trophy since going back to black. I think the idea, if I can say that I actually, proactively thought about it on this iteration, was that Path has been feeling really good as removal. I haven't really felt the need for tons of extra like permanent destructions. I guess a trophy always helped us with Tron, which I guess I've been seeing a fair amount of. So it's possible I might want to add. Also, I had been playing Abrupt Decay to deal with Teferi when I had been on black last time. So totally possible that I should be adding those cards back in now that I'm back on black. You know what? I think I'll just go ahead and do that right now. I'll keep the. I'm just going to keep the deck consistency basically identical, but just add back one trophy and one Abrupt Decay. It is nice to have removal that doesn't ramp the opponent. Decay is pretty awesome in that sense. But Abrupt Decay can't blow up lands against Tron, so All right, cool. So the plan tonight is to run a league with this build. I've got the points in the bank, so I can go ahead and just get things started. Not a queue. We're going to play the league. Does my voice sound normal to you guys? Because there's been a couple times where I've started a stream and it just like my voice for whatever is like really, really deep for whatever reason. All right. You know what? I think I just my window is not adjusted to show you guys my sideboard correctly. So let me go ahead and adjust that. See if I can do it before the before I find an opponent. So there, now you guys can properly see the entire sideboard, I think. As I mentioned, just a bunch of singleton creatures to grab with Court of Calling, and the 4 Veil of Summers, which are just really high impact in a lot of matchups. Cool. So now we just need to wait for an opponent. Horny Vegan, haven't you seen a number of my streams? It's my voice is sort of like tenor more than bass, I'd say. You know, we're gonna talk about like singing range. When it's been messed up, it's been like definitely like obviously very deep, my voice, which is very strange because it's like this ongoing consistent effect when it happens. It's just like for whatever reason, I don't know if it's a Twitch thing or an OBS thing or my computer thing, but when I've restarted the computer in the past, it has sorted out the issue. It says there's 844 active players. There we go. All right. Thank you, DV. I'm feeling it. I like this deck. I like the build, and we won the die roll, so I would like to play first. So welcome to the stream, everybody, this evening. Siege Rhino is with us here. I think this hand is probably a keep. I mean, we're on the play. We've got a 2-drop. We can scry into more gas, unless, of course, it gets like thought seized away. It's hard to mulligan these hands where you've got like a nice balance of lands and spells. Like if I mulligan this away into like a 6-lander or like a no-lander, just end up feeling pretty dumb about the situation. But I'm not going to think too much about this. I'm going to keep it and, just explain that it's, kind of a borderline hand for sure. We also want ramp, but hopefully Charming Prince is going to help us hit that. Given our strategy of curving out towards Urian, ramp is actually good like at any point on the first 4 turns. Like if we draw into like a Wall of Roots or a Noble Hierarch, like that's actually kind of fine, All right, opponent mulligan to 6. I don't really want to draw lands in the first few turns, so I think I'm going to probably just start with Misty, getting a basic island. And then I'm going to play a basic Plains, and then I'm going to play Canopy Vista untapped. Well, this could change depending on what I draw. Opponent says, have fun, good luck. Thank you, same to you, exclamation point. Yeah, but Neil, from my streams that all I draw are lands. The new rules for Companion is working on MTGO. No, not yet. They've said it'll be in effect on Thursday. Sorry about that. Not trying to take advantage. This is just the deck I always play. If any of you watching this evening haven't followed the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. It's a big help for me. I'm trying to grow the channel by increasing my followers, particularly the subscribers also. But, if I get more followers, then I could potentially get like some sponsorships. Oh, it's Tron. Awesome. Well, I do have 3 Vencers. Expedition map. They only mulligan to 6, so it's not a... Let's see. Yeah, I think getting a basic here is just fine. when you're running the Tango lands, you do want to make sure that you're getting some basics now and again. Ah, another land. Look at that. Possible I should have played the Misty out here, but no, I think the basic is just fine. I haven't seen Gigantha that much. We're going to scry here, obviously. Lands go away. Gas will stay. Stonehorn, we don't know which version of Tron. That's a bummer. But Soulherder is a sick turn 3 play, so that was awesome. I think I'm going to bottom this Stonehorn. We can always chord for it if we need to. I'm going to put that right on the top of my library. And yeah, nice. We'll get to attack with the Charming Prince next turn, play Soulherder, blink it, scry some more. And if Soulherder lives, we can play Siege Rhino and just blink it with Soulherder. So the deck kind of doing what it's supposed to do. But the opponent is probably going to play something nasty on turn 3. Why? There's absolutely nothing to point towards E-Tron unless you know this this player. Maybe you're right. That's fair. But when I've played against Green Tron, I still haven't seen Gigantha. But maybe it's just because I don't know. My opponents are not on the most recent tech. If it's Eldrazi Tron, I think that's very good for us. Because their haymakers are not like as worrisome as Green Tron. All right, so next turn we've got the Overgrown Tomb into Siege Rhino. See if the opponent has like some kind of removal for the Soulherder. They don't seem to want to go that direction, so you're just going to crack their Expedition map. No, you guys are right. I think I just haven't really seen Gigantha around, so I don't really have the same frame of reference. All right, so we don't know any of the cards on the top of our deck right now, since Soulherder was the only one that we actually... what is the opponent doing? I'm just taking their time. Yeah, so hopefully just more gas at this point. We've got lands to keep us playing spells. Opponent thinking pretty hard about which land to get. Seems like a pretty easy decision in the spot. It's a play that they make every single game. Little Karn Torpor Orb. We've got the 4/5, so maybe that's not the end of the world. I guess we'll see. Huh. I don't think I want the birds, and since you guys seem to be on the read that it is Eldrazi Tron, I feel like the path is probably significant. So I'll keep that. We only have 4 paths in the entire 80-card deck, so you have to be pretty careful about scrying one away. Opponent got another tower, I think. So they had the natural Tron on the mulligan to 6. Next turn, they're going to have 10 mana. They are making green mana, and here's Ancient Stirrings, so now I have a path. I guess we're going to use it for Ulamog. Well, so Walking Ballista can come down with 2 counters, just basically kill Soulherder. Kind of annoying. But if that's their play, then kind of whatever. Citywide curfew in effect for New York City. I just got this alert. Funny. All right, yeah, they're deathly afraid of Soulherder, I guess. Can't say I blame them. Soulherder is mega bomb. Do they have something to spend their 1 mana on? Relic, hey, good for you, opponent. So they do have 2 towers, I think. Okay, we're gonna attack. Would be kind of nice actually if I had a Eternal Witness here, because then I could get the Soulherder back, hold up path. But as things stand, Siege Rhino is gonna have to suffice. Ugh. White. Oh, I can't even do it, guys. I can't do it. Oh my god. I messed up my sequencing in the first couple turns. Oh. I had... I needed basics. I needed basics to play the Canopy Vista on curve, and I needed blue. Oh, I can do it. I can do it. I've been so out of it all day today. This is ridiculous. I just missed my turn 4 because I didn't look at my white, green, black mana. All right. Let's get it together. Let's reel it in. Opponent seems to be stumbling a tiny bit. Let's see if we can take advantage and get back on track. I know I can, guys. I know I can. I haven't made a play that stupid in a long time. I only looked at this part of my mana. I saw that when I tried to actually pay for Siege Rhino, it showed me that I needed a different color, and then I looked quickly, saw that I thought I couldn't do it, and yeah, it's pretty stupid. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. And God, playing against Tron, I can't afford to punt. Okay, second tower. Opponent still has 7 mana. We know they have a Blast Zone in hand, and I should have a Siege Rhino on the board. We had somebody in chat call call Little Karn into Torpor Orb. We managed to dodge the Torpor Orb, but I didn't play my Siege Rhino. Opponent just has a handful of Expedition maps and Sylvan Scryings. You're saying hopefully I lose anyway? That's very optimistic of you. Oh god, I just went from a turn where I could have had a massive bomb on the table, untap and attack for a lot of damage, play another Siege Rhino. Oh, okay. Opponent has Sanctum of Ugin, but apparently no kind of payoff whatsoever. Jesus, I could have played Urian this turn if I wanted to. I can't remember the last time I've just like straight up passed my turn for no reason. See, this is what happened last time. I just did this exact same thing. Let me cancel this. We're gonna go. I did it very carefully. Black, green. I guess I must have done white here instead of green. I guess it's my bad, but I did the same exact thing last turn, and I thought I was just like I couldn't cast my spells. So we're gonna let it go. If I swing for 6 next turn, I mean, what do they got? Just cracking to draw a card. All right, so we're getting very, very lucky here that the opponent hasn't had a payoff apart from Walking Ballista to kill Soulherder. Okay, so it looks like they drew something. It looks like they're going to get something off of the Sanctum of Ugin. Oh, man. Need to have 2 Siege Rhinos on the board right now. Yeah, I was right there with you guys hoping for Wormcoil. Okay, so now like Hierarch would be decent just to kill Karn. I'm gonna, if I swing for 2, well, anyhow, let's just. So we know that Ulamog is coming down. We do have a path for it. But he gets to destroy my stuff. All right, so I could actually play Wall of Roots and then Siege Rhino this turn, I guess. And actually potentially still have path up. Yeah, that's pretty optimistic. But if Karn makes me exile a card from my hand and then I pitch the path, then I'm in a bad spot. So I might want to keep the... I could just attack Karn, but then he's kind of forced to make me pitch a card. No, I'm not trying to make any excuse at all for passing my turn. Opponent should be at 7 now. And then if I still had a Siege Rhino around, I could attack and then Urian and probably would just be over. All right, I don't know what I'm really thinking about here. Just if I want to attack Karn or if I want to attack the opponent. They're at 11. If we play the Siege Rhino, they go... If we attack and then play Siege Rhino, that's 5. They go down to 6. We path the Ulamog. Yeah, well, we've got 2 more games, so... If I play this right now, green, blue, I can sort of tap out, play Siege Rhino, pitch the Vista if they tick up Karn. Yeah, but they're going to exile the Siege Rhino with Ulamog. I'm just trying to figure out what playing this Wall of Roots actually means this turn. Like, if maybe I just want to pitch it, play the land instead. I mean, like... I feel like I kind of have to attack the opponent at this point. I mean, we don't have to path the Ulamog on the opponent's turn necessarily. That's a decent possibility. I mean, a decent idea, I guess. But they're gonna have this Karn that can exile stuff. So if I draw Ephemerate, play the Siege Rhino now, they go to 6. They're gonna play Ulamog, exile my creatures. It's just a bad spot. Nah, I know. I think I like just playing the wall, see what the opponent does, and then I do like the idea of Ephemerate potentially being some kind of out. If we do this, then 1, 2, 3, we might be able to do... Yeah, I don't know, guys. Like, it's a pretty rough spot. Maybe, yeah, I don't want to pitch either of these 2 cards here, so I kept the land in hand. Like, it's just really, really hard to win from this spot. Even Ephemerate doesn't really do it, right? We can't have too many turns like that where we spend 2 minutes thinking about what we want to do, but kind of digging myself out of a hole. Maybe they try to get tricky and go for like blue mono to keep me off counter spells or something. I mean, I have to imagine just kill my creatures. Like, how do I... I mean, they could also just hit the black mana. Like, that's a kind of a sore thumb. Ah, they did. Good for you, opponent. That's a good call. Now, obviously, I could path to get black mana back online, but I think dealing with Ulamog is probably more important. Honestly, this game is probably just over. And it's my bad. It's my bad. All right, I'm sorry, guys. If any of you guys want to leave, not watch the stream anymore, totally understand. It's kind of ridiculous. Sequenced my land correctly. MTGO told me I didn't tap correctly for my mana, and I just spazzed. So, Collector Oof in, Magus of the Moon in, Phyrexian Revoker in, Kazali Pride Mage. Yeah, I know. It's just, if I was playing, like, by myself, just sort of sitting, just playing Magic and not streaming, I don't think I would have ever made that mistake. It's just, I guess maybe I get a little bit nervous when the lights are on, cameras are rolling. I mean, Meddling Mage is interesting in the matchup because, like, when they do Sanctum of Ugin, Stick Boy, I just missed that I had the mana to cast Siege Rhino and then pass the turn when I actually did have the mana to cast Siege Rhino. It's mostly on me, but I tapped all my lands, and MTGO said, no, you didn't do that right, and I just freaked out and passed the turn instead of actually trying again. All right, so in the matchup against Green Tron, I think Wall of Roots is less important. We'll probably cut those. It does help us ramp to good chords, but it's not blocking anything, so it doesn't really matter. It is ramp that works through Walking Ballista, so there's that. Stonehorn, probably not super relevant. Also Lavinia, probably not super relevant. Abrupt Decay, probably not super relevant. I mean, it kills a Walking Ballista. Maybe Path is more relevant. I think I'll cut the Abrupt Decay. So I sort of feel fine with this configuration. I kind of would like to have more ramp with the Wall of Roots, but I would need to think about something that's less important. Charming Prince is important because they can like play Ugin and wipe our board, and we can chord for Charming Prince and like tuck away an Eternal Witness, something like that. If they play Little Karn, it's possible we should trim Astrolabes. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll trim 2 Astrolabes and bring in 2 Wall of Roots. I'm not sure if Big Tron actually plays Little Karn. I think in general they don't. But I think the ramp is better than the fixing in general. So I'll just run it back like that. And I should be up a game, but I'm down a game. Pretty terrible way to start a league, but I'm going to try to let it go. Well, we don't have any ramp, but we do have land destruction and nice cards against Tron, so we will keep this. We need to get our blue mana going, so this is definitely going to get like a Prairie Stream. But we don't have black mana right now for Assassin Trophy, and actually I only play, I think, 2 Flooded Strands because they can't get green. It's like when we're at 80 cards, I feel like, we've got max Misties, max Windswept Heath, and then past that point, I think I have 2 Flooded Strands, something like that, or maybe a couple, maybe 3. But it's the only fetch land that can actually get green mana, and so it can't get our Overgrown Tomb. So am in not the best spot if I'm planning on using this early to get rid of one of their Tron lands. Opponent, mulligan to 6. I am going to get blue-white with this. Although, I don't even know. If I want it, if I'm kind of lean, we're on the play, so it might not be super important that I, rip Assassin's Trophy on turn 2 or anything like that. But if I was planning on casting it on turn 2, then I would want to play a green land rather than a blue-white land. But yeah, I don't think it's that important, since we're not going to cast it. We don't want to cast it on turn 2 anyway, I don't think. And we don't have access to black mana right now. All right, so just kind of chilling. Opponent didn't keep a 1-land hand, did they? They did. So I think I'm going to deputy their expedition map while I can. Maybe they brought in some dismembers. Should not be an unreasonable thing to do. In fact, it might actually explain why they kept a 1-land hand. Collector Oof. Collector Oof lets me hold a protection for both of the creatures, but doesn't look like the opponent's doing anything right now, so I think just growing a Soulherder is probably smarter. We are whiffing on lands here. Hang on a sec. I'll go to attacks first. Although, I mean, maybe Collector Oof is actually the play here, because... No, just getting Soulherder down is really great, because then if I do draw a land, I can just start, like, multi-venturing, I think. So we would not do this if they had 2 mana available, but they don't. This way I get to grow the Soulherder. Chromatic Star. Now, Collector Oof is going to stop that. And I can play the birds, get my black mana online. Doesn't really matter what I blink here. Well, if only opponents kept 1-land hands every game. I guess maybe that's like me getting something back for punting in game 1, I guess. Hey, McDirt. Going to game 3 against Mono Green Tron. They kept a 1-lander, mulliganing to 6. It's pretty aggressive. I wonder how often Tron does that, really. Like, if you have got Expedition Map and 1 Tron land, is that a keep on a mulligan to 6? It seems like this opponent seems to think that it is. So I'll go ahead and run this back. I think I thought pretty well about the configuration after game 1. Sorry, just a second. I think we have, let's see. Yeah, Vegan, you think that it's a bad keep? I think I'm right there with you. I think this is a good hand. Whoa, hey there. What was that? I've never done that before. And that's about where I had it, I think. So opponent's keeping 7. Seems pretty solid on our side. I mean, we do want to draw some gas, but... Huh. All right, so let's remember, I can't get black mana but with this land, but we do have 2 Birds of Paradise. I think I'll just go get a basic forest here. Play birds. So if opponent kept 7, they're almost certainly cruising to turn 3 Tron. I'll have to see what they play on their second turn. It would be just like so awesome if they just like whiff for 1 turn. Like, don't have turn 3 Tron. Like, have turn 4 Tron. All right, well, this is better than just ancient, Sylvan Scrying, but see if they rip a Tron land. I mean, I think the odds are pretty good. looking at the top 5. It's kind of funny to think that just a little while ago, Ancient Stirrings was a big subject of debate as far as like the potential ban list goes. Now it's like completely off everyone's radar. Wow. Okay. Cool. What do you got, opponent? Okay. As we are sort of kind of in this. So, I mean, I guess next turn is Soulherder, and then the following turn is Siege Rhino, and we just hope that the opponent keeps whiffing on their Tron lands. I mean, it looks like they're thinking really hard about this. If they took a forest... They took a Chromatic Sphere. So some early luck in Game 3 for Team Soulherder. No, they kept 6. Oh, yes, they kept that 7. But they also kept a 1 lander and a multi-6, so potentially not the most experienced Tron opponent, I guess. Now, at this point, I kind of don't want to draw more lands. So I could fetch, but I feel like, you know, with the Tangle lands in the deck, I probably just want to run out this basic. It's just fine. Now, hopefully they just like play a land and play Oblivion Stone, and I just can blow it up immediately with Night of Autumn. Despite really tanking on some of my turns, I am somehow still ahead on time. Opponents, all right, so they got a Sylvan Scrying. So they're sort of back on track. They did not cast... All right, I'm pretty shook. If they have somehow have Natural Tron, I mean, in hand. Well, if they have the other Tron piece in hand, I guess they play their Chromatic Sphere, right? Dismember, yuck. Yeah, well, Siege Rhino. Oh, another Soulherder. Yeah, Siege Rhino seems like the best choice. I could also do like Soulherder Birds, but yeah, Siege Rhino is just the best choice, I think. So I do have the mana to cast Siege Rhino this time. Gonna go get our Canopy Vista. If the opponent continues to stumble, we've got nice plays next turn. We can play, we can attack. They would go down to, what, they're going to 13, they go down to 9. Play Urian, Blink, they go down to 6. Chromatic Sphere, maybe they don't just have it. Right, well, I guess another Sylvan Scrying would sort of explain it. Oh, they have the mine. Where did that come from? What strange sequencing. 5 mana. Thragtusk. Well, Thragtusk is a little bit annoying. Do they have another Dismember? Thragtusk is actually pretty annoying. All right. I mean, I kind of like Urian here. If they have Ugin, then it's kind of lights out. But Urian is kind of like max value this turn. And I just really don't want to attack in with Siege Rhino. Opponent would snap block with the Thrag Tusk. So the sequencing on Soulherder and Urian is actually pretty interesting. Like if I play Soulherder first, then I Urian, I can grow the Soulherder. I don't know that it's huge, but it would grow a bit. So that is a nice alternative, actually. And Soulherder gets to blink Siege Rhino now anyway. If I play the Birds of Paradise, that is something extra that Urian can blink. So maybe that is the better line. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking I can get beats in next turn with Urian in the sky, but probably just better, all things considered. And if they play Ugin, I mean, I don't know if there's anything we can do about it, but next turn, if we draw a land, we can still just untap and play Urian. Doesn't matter which I tap here, I don't think. All right, so opponent dismembered the first Soulherder. Let's see if they have an answer for the second Soulherder. Definitely toyed with my emotions on the previous turn. Like, it just totally looked like they didn't have the land in hand. But not only did they have the land in hand, but they have an extra one in hand. So at this point, they have 10 mana. Just going straight to attacks with Thragtusk, I guess, and then... I don't know. Whatever. I'll take 5. I mean, like... Yeah, that's pretty rough. Pretty rough indeed. But we can rebuild, I guess. We don't have Oro mana on the board. Are they just going to pop this right now? All right, opponent got us. I could be a little greedy, play the Icefang Coatl, and then try to draw land. But Uro draws anyway, right? So I think this is the play then. If we rip land, then we can cast the Icefang Coatl. And if we draw Ephemerate here, we can cast it because we have the Coatl to catch the rebound. All right, I mean, we're kind of behind on board, and so the chord is not optimal. But I don't know, we need to hit a blue source here to do anything. I mean, really, any land will let us get Urian on the board, which is something at least. And we can always chord for like a Birds of Paradise or something. Actually, we can't because we don't have 3 green. Things get difficult with chord when you don't have creatures on the table. I mean, this match should be over, but I punted the first game ridiculously. Can just hope to do better in the next few matches. We've got a whole league ahead of us. Blah. Yep, okay. So now we are 2 blue mana away from getting to Uro. Opponent can just exile another land next turn if they feel like it. Oh, jeez. Jackie Chen, that's definitely been considered. I really, really don't like it. I've tried it before, and it just, doesn't seem great. Gaining 4 life doesn't seem amazing here, so I'm just going to try to make a big dude. Have some chance of attacking Karn down. Oh, they have another piece of removal? They do. That's amazing. I've never had that happen before, like spatial contortion in response to adding counters. I think I'm kind of dead here. Yeah, I don't know. A million mana away from casting Venser. See, I don't know. If I were the Tron opponent, I would probably just minus Karn and blow up my land, but I guess they can just do that next turn. I'm going to scoop in probably a few seconds. Yeah, I mean, Karn can just exile stuff. I'm going to scoop this up. So that was just a mess. The deck is fine against Tron. I just passed the turn when I shouldn't have passed the turn in the first round, the first game. So whatever. We're not going to mention that anymore. So Jackie Chen, a bunch of us have tried the Stoneblade. You say combo, I guess, but you just mean the package, right? Like Stoneforge, Mystic, and a bunch of equipment. I mean, it's fine, and people like it, but for me, it just feels like it doesn't. It's kind of like a square peg in a round hole. I mean, I guess we would run. I don't know in 80 cards how many equipments we would run, but I don't know. In general, it's just not like you get your equipment, and then I've just never been impressed with the Stoneforge Mystic in Modern in general. I think that's just my point of view. So like, I don't really want to run it in this deck, even if it does have some synergies. Like you can blink it to get 2 equipments. It's decent, right? The control builds with Urian, the sort of Bant Snow control decks. Some of them run the Stoneforge package. It's not bad, but I feel like we just want to maximize, like, I guess I want to say like card drawing effects, but then at the same time, like Stoneforge does draw a card. It draws a very specific card. So it's pretty good in that sense. But I don't know. I guess I can just say that I haven't been impressed with it. Like, it just seems like equipments are just pretty easy for people to deal with. You can get, like, I don't know, prowess every now and then with like a batter skull, because you're going to gain some life or something, but all right, well, this is a really nice Soulherder hand. Let's see if I can navigate decently. All right, we are going to keep this. Opponent won the die roll and is also beginning with 7. So double ramp, this means if we want to, we could cast Urian on turn 3, assuming that nothing else happens. The opponent's not on any companions. Prismatic Vista probably means, like, I don't know, I guess we'll have to see what it means. Oh, Arbor Elf. Okay, so some kind of Ponza deck that's not running Obosh. Interesting. That tends to be a pretty spectacular matchup for us. So let's hope that that's what we're playing against. I'm going to get a basic forest here. We've got the double Coatls. Possible that I might want to get. Oh, okay, tap. Like green-white here, just to have for sure access, even if the bird gets killed, access to white mana. Like they could bolt the bird right now, and that wouldn't be the best for me. All right, so I don't know, Magus of the Moon, bring it. Or yeah, Pillage. I mean, it's what they do. So now, I think we probably just want to get the Wall of Roots out. And if they're on the sort of early game land removal plan, I feel like maybe the green is more important. So if I play this and then I play a land next turn, play Wall of Roots here, next turn I'll have access to 5 mana still, I guess. No, 4 mana. I'm just 5 mana for Court of Calling, just 4 mana next turn. What are you saying, Neil, about Wall of Greens making green? I know it does make green, but we have to play something here. All right, so Killing the birds. They're just on like the mana denial plan, which is not. I mean, we can kind of cope with that, I think. All right. Well, the deck has been cooperating. Yeah, I know. I guess that's true. So here we can go like. It doesn't really matter if we main phase Coatl. We don't have anything to use the extra green mana for on the opponent's turn. So I think I'll probably just look to cast Coatl on their turn, get basic planes, and then ephemerate, I guess. We'll have to see what they do with their mana. Opponent did miss their land drop. Hold on a sec. So if I go like green blue now, I could get another. I could get another blue and then cast the second Coatl on their turn. But that just seems kind of greedy, doesn't it? I'd be putting myself off of white mana when I have access to it right here. I don't know. I think that Ephemerate's pretty safe, so I'll just pass the turn here and get white mana. Yeah, I do have 2 snow-covered islands. But I don't want to risk not having white mana, honestly, so I'm just going to pass. Maybe it puts me a tiny bit behind in development, but if Ephemerate comes off, then I'm going to draw just as many cards anyway. And it looks like the opponent is going to tap out here, so... All right, that's awesome. I knew you could do it, opponent. And honestly, like before they even have a chance to play another land, it doesn't look like they have a land. I'm just going to play the Ice Fang now and Ephemerate it now. I'm sorry, what's greedy? It's not greedy. I have another Ice Fang that I can flash in next turn. How is it greedy? We'd love to draw another land here. Could flash in a Coatl, but if we draw a land, we can start venturing things. Seems kind of nutty. Okay, we did it. So I think I just pass with Venser up here. I can play the Astrolabe, but then I don't have 4 mana on the opponent's turn. A little bit awkward the way that works. Oh, I don't have double blue. I do have to play Astrolabe. My bad. I had to think about it for a second. Magus is on the board. So we'll get to that eventually. All right, so I take the opportunity to play the Astrolabe here. I do have Chord of Calling. At this point, it's for 3. So I could chord green, green, green. I could go get like a Soulherder. That seems like a decent option. But I think just getting down, like I can play. Let's see. I can play. I think a Charming Prince this turn, like this, and then next turn I can flash in a Coatl with. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, Soulherder. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna naturally cast Soulherder then. That's just a better option. Is this like a stomp on Soulherder? Oh man, I love this matchup. It's so good. Like these Megases. All right, so now we can just start bouncing their lands. I think just shut the game down. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Play the birds. Yeah, that's all I've got to do here. Sequencing. Okay. What do we want? We can actually probably want to rip this Court of Calling now. Opponent just scoops. All right. Typically, if I've got like a bunch of gas and I'm in like a winning board state, if I can chord for 2, like I'll usually take that opportunity. Like I could have chorded on the end of their main to get like a Charming Prince, Blink Venser, like set their land back, or even just drawing cards or getting another Wall of Roots. Like just leaning on the opponent, untap, play more bodies, just seems good. Using our instant speed mana, basically. All right, so we don't want to bring in Magus for this one. We do want to bring in Burrenton, Auriok Champion, because this deck is going to play like Seasoned Pyromancer and that green-red god creature, Kithios? No, that's not it. That's the Greek guy. I guess they're all from Theros, right? Pride Mage blows up like Utopia Sprawls, if we care about that. I think I'll probably leave him in the sideboard for now. Actually, they might run like Little Karn, and then that means they might run Torpor Orbs. So bringing Kasali just seems like kind of a easy, low-cost kind of thing to do. Thragtusk is kind of a grindy matchup, so Thragtusk just seems like a good card to add. Lavinia is going to help us Alpha Strike. All the dorks and fixing seem really good because they're trying to mess up our mana. They don't really run sweepers, so Charming Prince not that essential here, I think. Knight has some nice versatility. Deputy dies to Bolt. I typically don't like Deputy and Bolt matchups, so I might trim that. 2 more cards to take out. Thank you, Paintball Demon. Clothis, yes. So many new fancy names in Magic lately. Hard to keep track of them all. I like the removal. As I was saying, I like the ramp. Maybe we trim 1 Soulherder in deference to the lightning bolts and the stomps. And I mean, Venser's pretty strong in that game. I think Venser's pretty good, but maybe we don't need 3 of them. We're not on the play here, so it's a little bit weaker. Like when you can open up and just jam lands and ramp and just like start Vensering things. All right, this seems fine. So the new things that we can chord for are the 2 kind of anti-red cards. Kazali Pride Mage to potentially blow up a Torpor Orb. It doesn't hurt, Neil. There's definitely like a spectrum of, or I guess it's like a range of aggro in the matchup. They're keeping 7. I obviously have to mulligan here, sadly. But we get a pretty nice 6. So I think we do have to open up like basic forest. Birds play this, play Auriok. Oh, hang on a sec. I've got to put something on the bottom. I'll typically look to bottom chord because it's going to be a while before we can actually build up a board presence and even like try to get triple green. So sometimes we'll put lands to the bottom and then just get land screwed. So I think I'm going to bottom the cord here. It's currently uncastable. So anyhow, Neil, I was saying I do like both of them because they can get ahead of us on board and start attacking, and then it's pretty bad. Like if they're coming at us with big scary dragons. So that actually makes me wow. It's tricky. I guess I'll go get still basic forest because they're gonna untap and play Magus again, even though it was terrible for them the first time. But if they have a bolt for this Birds of Paradise, it's kind of rough for us because we need it for double green. We need it for double white. Or maybe they just blow up our land. That's a oh, stomping the birds. Birds down. So can't cast that was a consideration. It's possible they took out Magus, but we do kind of have to play around it in the early part of the game. It's sort of okay. Oh, that was a good draw. We can still sort of get to Auriok Champion. I'm going to use this fetch land now, though, because they could still play Magus. I'll use it to get a forest, and then next turn we'll cast Eternal Witness. So it looks like, well, this is how they opened last time, and then they got stuck on 2 lands, which would be kind of nice if that's what happens again here. Yeah, I don't care about that thing at all. That is what's happening. I don't know where you guys live, but here in Brooklyn, I live down the street from the Barclays Center. It's a big stadium, and there have been protests for like the last week going on. And I can hear them now outside my window. It's like, I don't know, like 10 blocks away or something. So it's not like outside, directly outside my window, but I can still hear it. It's been pretty loud. Do you guys have protests going on around you right now? Opponent appears to have missed their land drop again. Just going straight into casting spells. But they do have access to 4 mana, so good for them, I guess. Is this? I mean, it could be like a Bloodbraid Elf. Could be anything, really. Auriok Champion should slow this down considerably. Well, Klothys was an amazing hit. Nice. Good job, opponent. I think I don't have a lot of stuff in the graveyard right now. I think I just kind of want to like trade with this Bloodbraid Elf. Like stabilizing here includes like keeping Klothys offline, dealing with their creatures. If I trade with Bloodbraid Elf, throw down 2 dorks. I feel like it's decent. Well, all right, Paintball. It's good to hear that you guys are safe and sound up there in Canada, but yeah, things have been a little bit tense around here lately. All right, well, we'll play Auriok Champion. We will gain some life by playing out our dorks. And then our mana should be sorted for the rest of the game. This is an extremely favorable matchup, typically. But the opponent is on the play. They are curving out pretty nicely. They missed 2 land drops, but they made it up with Utopia Sprawl. Also, another reason to not lean on keeping Eternal Witness on the board is that the opponent has Klothys and they can just keep pinging good things out of our graveyard. So, like, until we can deal with Klothys, it doesn't seem like... Yeah, see, they're just going to do this, right? So... okay. So Klothys alive again. Alive and kicking. Are they going to exert? Are they not going to exert? might be better to not exert here. All right. They've chosen to exert. Interesting. All right, so we're taking 8 here. Sort of rough. But if nothing else, we can play Urian next turn. All right, so I mean, Urian seems great here because she just like stonewalls some of their attacks. So rather than try to roll the dice and play Astrolabes and draw into other stuff, I think it's all just about Urian this turn. Exalted. Not really sure it was a correct call by the opponent to exert. They should have just attacked next turn with it again. All right, well, I mean, they can keep pinging me with Clothis, which is really annoying. It's going to kill us if we can't deal with it. And we've got 2 paths in the deck and a deputy, and I think that's kind of it. Opponent's definitely got a way better hand this game. Another Bloodbraid Elf. Cascading into a Bone Crusher Giant. Very nice. So on both Bloodbraids, they cascaded into 3-drops. So they're going to cast the creature. Interesting. There, I think I probably would have just cast the removal spell. I'm not. I guess maybe they don't have the option. I think they do have the option, don't they? Or maybe they can. I don't know. Whatever. I think they can cast either of these sides. Oh, no attacks. I guess that makes sense. Sort of, kind of. Not really. Doesn't at all make sense. Like, what am I going to do? Block? I guess yeah, if they attack, I get to eat their Bone Crusher, stonewall this, and then I still take 3? I don't know. I feel like they're kind of an aggro deck. Seems like a good attack. Yeah, so they've got what? This thing doesn't have reach, right? Even though it's a giant. We're on defense, though, for the time being. I think starting off with Astrolabe seems reasonable. Maybe just draw into Stonehorn. Soulherder's interesting. Get Soulherder down and hold up Ephemerate. Just start gaining a bunch of life with actually hang on a second. So if I play Soulherder, I can have Ephemerate up for Urian, but we don't really have anything to stop them from attacking. I think we need to keep up blocks on the opponent's turn, so I don't know that. If I blink Urian, I'm just blinking Astrolabe at this point. But I can't... I mean, Coatl just sort of increases my blocks. I don't know. I'm going to run out Soulherder. And then maybe I just try to blink Urian right now. Like, I'll attack. I probably should have attacked first. This is probably poor if they have, like, a bolt. I think I want to attack and then blink Urian right now. Grow the Soulherder. Reset my creatures. The other option is just to play the Astrolabe. If I was going to do this, I probably should have attacked first. But maybe it's a bit of a wash. I think it doesn't matter too much. And then next turn we can flash in the Iceman Coatl if we want to catch the Ephemerate. Yeah, I'm gonna not. We're gonna blink that thing. Say done. Grow the Soulherder. And then rather than draw another card by blinking Orion and then, well, let's just see how this goes. Yeah. Okay, well, things are sort of coalescing a little bit, but the opponent is going to have 5 cards in hand. They still have Clothis, like, doing a lot of work. They've untapped now with Glorybringer. Okay, well, now they have 6 mana on 2 lands. Maybe another Glorybringer, I guess. Seven mana? What are they doing with 7 mana? Yeah, okay. Oh, they can exert both Glorybringers to kill something, I guess. So I might just be dead here, I guess. There you go, opponent. All right. Just imagine they're going to take down Orion. Okay. So the math will reveal itself pretty quickly here. Let's line up some blocks. The biggest on the ground is 4. And then we can kill one of these things. And then we're set to take, yeah, I think it's just lethal, right? If we block 4 here, we take 11. All right, so it looks like we have lost. It's okay. We were on the draw that game, and they had a lot of great stuff, and whatever, Let's see. So now we know a little bit more about what they're doing, and I think you can see even more, like the answer to Neil's question about whether Stonehorn and Lavinia are both relevant in the matchup, and I think they are both very relevant. I'm going to run to the bathroom. If you guys have any ideas about the sideboard, leave them in the chat. I'll be back in a minute. So I was just thinking in the bathroom, I think I want to bring Venser back in since we're on the play, and if they load up a land with Utopia Sprawls like they did just now, we can just bounce the land. Which means I have to trim something. Soulherder was pretty awesome in that game, so I kind of want to bring Soulherder back in too. Then we can sort of figure out what we want to do beyond that. Again, I kind of like the removal. I like Uro. All right, just gotta trim something. I like all of the mana, the ramp, and the fixing. Although they probably sideboarded out the Magus against Astrolabes. All right, I don't know. I can trim one Soulherder. And I don't know. It doesn't seem like the deck is playing Baby Karn, so maybe I'll just trim the Kazali Pride Mage, and we'll sort of see how it goes. Typically, it's the kind of card that comes in after game one if you're expecting a Torpor Orb out of the opponent's board. And then if you don't really see anything that indicates Torpor Orb in game two, you can just bring it back out. All right. This is a hand, right? We can go green, white, blue, and get things going. All right, so we'll keep. Although, I mean, we're going to keep for sure, but we need to get black mana at some point. Just not really a priority, right? Off the bat. I like curving into just like turn 3 Uro. Seems decent in the matchup. Particularly if we can continue to hit our land drops. Oh, well, maybe I just want to Abrupt Decay the Arbor Elf, but then we're setting ourselves back. No, I definitely need blue mana here. So we pass, and we wait to see what they play. When I organize my hand, I tend to keep sort of playable cards on the left side and currently unplayable cards toward the right side. Oh, are they going to play Magus and get me? I guess I can always just float black if I want to and just kill the Magus. We are going to have 2 colors of basics anyway, though. All right, they've got it. I think I just want to play like Uro and Ice Fang. Honestly, we still have our birds. We can chord for birds. We've got Astrolabes. Like, if I get black mana here, I literally can't play anything next turn. So I think I have to just get blue mana and hope that Ice Fang and Uro draw us into things. So it's interesting the opponent did keep in the Magus. I feel like maybe it's possible they just don't have enough to bring in against us, but it just seems relatively poor against our deck. All right, so we're not going to be able to cast the Eternal Witness yet. But we'll have to see sort of how things go. All right, well, that's unfortunate for now, but we still can play Uro and play that extra land, if nothing else. I hope they don't play Klothys with the Uro in the graveyard. That would be a bummer. Oh man, this is getting obnoxious. Like, now I've got so many good cards in hand, and Magus is actually getting me. I mean, 1 Astrolabe off the top, and we're pretty good. Also, I mean, we do need 1 blue or white to cast. I'm not going to block next turn, so I'm going to attack with the Coatl. All right, well, Magus, it hasn't sort of officially gotten us yet. We still got to cast our turn 2 play, our turn 3 play. I think I've got 2 more basic islands. Jesus, opponent's just hitting the nuts these games. Ramp curving out. Land Hate, Bloodbraid Elf hitting a 3-drop that is going to start hitting our graveyard. Ah, well, that's something. I kind of like that, actually. So that means I can get Uro back in hand. Of course, it doesn't deal with Klothys yet. But, you know, we could have drawn way worse than Basic Forest in this spot. It also turns on Death Touch, which is pretty sick in this spot. Well, Swizzy, it's a possibility, but I had no access to blue mana, and I could have just been screwed on blue mana for the rest of the game. So we'll have to sort of see how it goes. For the time being, currently don't have. I guess Uro is something I can cast, and I can keep drawing cards off of it. Oh, we can also hold on. We can cord here, which is pretty sick. I can cord to take the Magus away. I kind of like that line. Cord for Deputy to get Magus. What are my other 3-drops that I might want to get? I mean, obviously Soulherder draws me a card, but it doesn't get me out of this immediate predicament here. I could get like Auriok Champion to slow them down, but at this point, I have to think that kind of sniping the Magus, I can crack this and get a white or black. Actually, black is probably the way to go. It's going to pass the turn here. We're definitely behind, but and I'm going to tap this land to cast the Cord. So I won't be able to fetch right away. Ugh. Hate that he gets to hit Uro. More Haymakers. Seasoned Pyromancer. Well, that's not exactly a Haymaker, but still pretty damn good. So this requires 7, right? So we can also just take Klothys out if we want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Less than 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one's 7, 8. So now if I take this away, Klothys is still alive if I hit the Magus. You know, we still have a play next turn. So they pitched 2 Arbor Elves. All right, just getting in with Klothys. Definitely going to Cord for 3. So I might as well just do that now. And, you know, they could just untap one of these lands and bolt our... Oh, I think I took Deputy out, actually. Man, it's just like a comedy of errors this evening. I took Deputy out because of Bolt, so... I can just... I don't even know. I'm taking damage here, but the best play, I guess, is probably something that helps me with my mana situation, right? Like, I can get... I mean, I could just get, like, Auriok Champion and just try to start stonewalling, but it's just so bad. Like... Another option is to just get Eternal Witness and keep running back Cord. That's usually what I fall back on if I kind of mess up on a Cord. Oh, that's what Neil is saying right now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. We can go get like Stonehorn at this point. Yeah, blocking doesn't do anything. Opponent. Okay, well, that's a land. So we can get Lavinia if we want. Lavinia stops all their attacks currently, and doesn't let them block. So, but let's see, and they can't activate Arbor Elf either. So hang on a sec. I gotta play a little bit faster. And we can get Cord back again. Lavinia. Witness back Cord? No, I think this is fine, right? With Witness, if I went 1, 2, 3, if I tap 3 lands, I don't think I had enough to. Anyhow, I have another Witness in hand. We can do that next turn. Oh, but they're gonna get our Cord, so problematic. I don't think we could have. Oh, they got the Vista. They're trying to ramp here. That's kind of an interesting choice. Okay, Glorybringer. It's going to do some damage, but it can't get Lavinia. They have exerted it without apparently thinking about what they want to kill. So we still don't have Urian mana currently. So if we cast Witness, then we have. Oh, we don't have the green, right? We only have 1 green to Cord then, but we could do it later. Only have 1 blue, so this is offline. I can Cord right now for something to blink Lavinia, so I guess it's Resto, right? Oh wait, I can't Cord. What am I talking about? That's what I was just thinking. I have the 3 green here to Cord, but I don't have Cord back in hand. I can't Cord for anything, I don't think, here, right? I don't have the green to do it. And I'm just timing out as I sit here thinking of. All right, I just have to play really, really fast, even if it's like slightly suboptimal play. I don't have green, so I can't cast anything else in my hand. I mean, Lavinia gives us like a potential attack at some point, but I need to actually use my last 4 minutes very well. And I could just be dead through their attacks, but I haven't even bothered really to do the math here. I mean, Klothys, yeah, I'm definitely dead because Klothys is going to eat something, and then I mean, opponent's actually thinking about this, which is a little bit weird. I can't believe I'm losing to this deck. Like it's been such a rough night, honestly. Like punted against Tron, lost one of our best matchups. I mean, they did get us with the Megas, and I did see somebody say that they thought the play was to get basic black and destroy and blow up the Magus, and that's fair, I guess. You know, we maybe were going to draw blue sources as the game went on, but given the state of our hand, we had 2 cards that had blue in it, and the 2 cards that we could cast at the beginning of the game had blue. The only card that had black that we could cast was Abrupt Decay, and so we were going to get our mana screwed either way. I mean, we do have 4 birds, we have 4 astrolabes. The idea that we were going to get continually screwed by Magus seemed less likely than the odds of me drawing birds or astrolabes. Anyhow, seems I made the wrong choice. And the league is getting off on the completely wrong foot. The thing about this deck is that when you're dealing with Chord and like 20 different potential Chord targets, there's such a ridiculously high skill ceiling to know like what the best thing to get in any situation is and what the best land sequencing is to get you to where you need to be in like 4 turns. So there's just so much room to make mistakes. There's also a ton of room to grow into the deck, which is why I love playing it. So this is a turn 1 Hierarch. It's our only blue mana, so hopefully it doesn't get removed. And then turn 2, we should be able to play. Let's see. So another good matchup. We do want our creature mana here, so and we also want to draw cards. This is 8 racks, so I think I'll just pitch one of the Wall of Roots, and then next turn I'm probably just going to Coatl and then Ephemerate it, just to get ahead on cards. And the other option is just like to pitch Ephemerate, but could also just play Wall of Roots and then play Ice Fang on the opponent's turn, but then I'm left with just Ephemerate and Siege Rhino in hand. While I play the Coatl and draw something else. I think I like that better. I think I like just developing my mana. Developing the board. Yeah, if I cast Coatl here, then I won't have white mana anyway on the opponent's turn, so just pass the turn. Like Wrench Mind is rough here. Smallpox is rough here, but so where does this leave us? 5 mana, we can get Urian out next turn. Oh, but I'm not gonna. I'm only gonna have 4 mana once I play my land. Could just discard the plains. Probably correct to pitch the plains, I think. And then it's nice to have this to Ephemerate, so I guess I have to pitch the Wall of Roots. Blah. I am going to Ephemerate on my main phase, just to try to draw a land. Possible I should have just pitched, honestly, the Siege Rhino instead of the plains. That was a misstep, I think. Live and learn. Nothing else I can do here. But now I have a couple 4-drops that I don't really care about discarding. Wrench Mind. Okay, well, I just discard my... This is kind of funny. Like, I'm going to discard the artifact. Even though it's 4-drops, and I can't cast them for a while anyway. Yeah, I'll just pitch the artifact, honestly, because they have cards like the rack that actually care about how many cards I have in my hand. I think the opponent missed. No, they did hit a land drop there. Just going to cast Ephemerate again. We're just going to sort of run it back. Try to hit a land drop. Okay, not hitting land drop. The opponent just conceded the game. I guess that's what you get when you lose the first 2 rounds of a league. They had Raven's Crime in their hand, and I only had... Oh, they just scooped the whole thing. So that's cool. I don't love playing against Arek anyway, even though it's a pretty good matchup. Okay, well, we're at 1 and 2 now in the league. So just checking out the Discord for the first time since I started the league, and you know, it's just one of those channels that has like 500 people in it that never participate. And I thought I would try pinging everybody who was like awake. And most people seem that responded don't like it, so I won't do it again. But it's very curious why people are even in here, because like if you don't want to watch, if you're active and you don't want to watch a Soulherder stream, or at least be notified of it, like why are you in the channel? I don't understand. I'm not saying you should leave or anything. It's just a bit like confusing to me. Maybe those of you who are here can answer that question. I mean, I know every now and then I get pinged by the Creature Toolbox channel, but I think it's for like a more generic league or stream, I should say. All right, well, this is definitely playable. Opponent's mulliganing to 6. They're playing Obosh. So the non-attacking thing here seems pretty good. Being on the draw doesn't seem amazing, but opponent did mulligan to 6. And they do have a 1-drop. Probably Arbor Elf, I guess, or Utopia Sprawl. Which means they'll be able to play a 3-drop on turn 3, as long as they have a second land. Okay, well, we have our 4th land in hand now, so means we'll definitely get to cast Stonehorn, unless we somehow get killed before our 4th turn. Oh, you know what? If they play Magus right now, I'm going to feel so stupid. I already feel stupid tonight. It's it's the theme of tonight's league. All right. Dodged a bullet. Kind of makes me think that I should probably just go and get like a basic land now, but yeah, we can't really afford to do that because I'm not really sure if these guys are on Magus. I'm pretty sure that they are. But getting basic white right now and taking the turn off just seems terrible. So I'm gonna play my forest and pass the turn. Huh, Clothis is actually pretty amazing here because they can play a land and then ramp to a 5-drop. And this guy can only play odd numbers. Stomping my face? Well, this is like as low impact as we can hope for, I guess, here. Just like playing, going to my face and then playing a Bone Crusher. Guess next turn they can play Obosh. But this is fairly slow. Siege Rhino. All right, so the mana's a little bit awkward. So at this point, if we flash in a second Coatl with 2 snow basics out, Could play the Flooded Strand now and get a Plains. Honestly, the sequencing doesn't matter a ton. But I think I'm just going to... I could attack with one Quaddle, leave another one back. If they play this thing, that's 2 Devotion, 3, 4, 5, 6. They would still be off of Klothys attacking, and I don't think I'd block it anyway. So to attack or not attack? I guess I probably attack. I could also just play Witness and get back my Flooded Strand. Oh, well, anyhow. I think I'm just going to go for another Quaddle. See what they can do about it. So they kill one, it loses Death Touch, so it's a little bit sketchy. Sort of expect Obosh here, which means they, in theory, they should be tapping out unless they have another land to play. Okay, Utopia Sprawl. So they do have 6 mana here. They could also have another land to play, and they do. So they have 7 mana here. We do have a chord to get like a Soulherder and create a loop with Stonehorn. All right, so here's Obosh. And Klothys woke up because Utopia Sprawl came out. So, all around kind of rough. Still don't think we could have played this much differently here. They are tapped out though now. So something like a path would be amazing. All right, do need to get a basic Plains. And we're set to take, I think, 10 here, right? So we'll see if, well, Abrupt Decay doesn't kill Obosh. Any Devotion and this thing's gonna wake right back up. But, let's see, Stonehorn stops the attacks. Klothys is still gonna be hitting us. Jeez, we're getting wrecked by these green-red decks today. I guess if I don't die next turn... Oh, this is gonna deal double damage. Right, this thing is gonna deal 4 damage to me next turn. I mean, we kind of have to play Stonehorn, right? There's not really too many options. Do they have any hasty creatures? It doesn't get around Stonehorn anyway. I was thinking about Lavinia. So yeah, might as well attack here, I guess. So if they untap, just exile something from our graveyard and then either stomp our face or bolt our face, we're just super dead. Yeah, but yeah, Glorybringer does get stopped by Stonehorn. All right, yeah. So I don't know. They had turn 1, 1 drop, turn 2, 3 drop, turn 3, 5 drop. Actually, no, they had just like 5 mana. They didn't actually do turn 3, 5 drop. Just getting beaten up tonight, guys. I guess Meddling Mage is decent. Like it forces them to answer it. Like you just name Obosh since it's a known card in their hand, basically. Thragtusk against aggro seems reasonable. Scavenging Ooze against Klothys seems passable, I guess. Revoker can name Arbor Elf, right? But so maybe that's good. Maybe that's good. I don't know. They've got all these bolts and stomps and whatnot. But I think we want them to throw them at our creatures, right? Yeah, I did draw an Abrupt Decay, which would have been a path if I didn't take it out. So good to keep that in mind. Abrupt Decay does seem goodish in the matchup, right? You just get to sort of kill one of their attacking creatures, but it's really just like Seasoned Pyromancer and Bone Crusher Giant that we can hit with this. So maybe we take that out. Maybe we take out both of these kinds of removal. I don't know. I think we keep it in. We need to slow them down, right? Again, I'm going to take Deputy out in the face of Lightning Bolts. I mean, Charming Prince gains life, but doesn't seem amazing in the matchup. I think I just obviously would prefer to have the Coatls and the Wall of Roots, the removal, the ramp. Still have to cut 4 cards. I guess we trim 1 Soulherder. Maybe a Witness. I like the Vencers, so I'll keep them in. I also like Stonehorn and Lavinia. Maybe Meddling Mage is a little bit cute. I think Phyrexian Revoker is definitely a little bit cute. Scavenging Ooze might not be super necessary. Actually, yeah, I'll keep Meddling Mage. I think we'll run it like that. All right, so we keep this. Opponent kept 7 as well. Opponents have had good cards tonight. You always want to play interesting Magic, but you want to not punt and you want to not get stomped, so a lot to ask for. To always have exciting matchups that you... Oh, Seal of Fire. Why not? Okay, well, you know, it's going to happen. At least we have the Astrolabe here. It fixes our mana. It helps a lot, actually. And that land is pretty clutch. So yeah, just pass the turn. Opponent should have... I guess I could have 1-drops on turn 2. I think I'm going to wait to crack the Vista just because I think we do want to draw lands here. Are they going to play like 3 Utopia Sprawls on this turn? Two Utopia Sprawls, maybe 3. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Oh, just an Arbor Elf. Okay. I'm definitely going to decay that thing. I don't have any better options on my turn. All right, so not cracking the Vista worked out nicely there because, as I mentioned, we did want to draw lands, and we did. So yeah, I can't let them untap with 7+ mana, right? So I feel like I kind of have to. Oh, I kind of have to abrupt decay this thing right now. And I guess we've got Venser to bounce their forest as long as we don't get like crushed somehow this turn. They did keep their 7 this game. Five mana. Are they just going to jam Obosh? Pyromancer. What are they going to discard? Mountain and Forest. Another Arbor Elf. That's pretty rough, but I guess we can just bounce the forest, so it's not that big a deal. Going to get a temple guard in here. Now, we could let them cast something gigantic next turn, Obosh, and then bounce it with Venser, and then play Soulherder and bounce the land the next turn. But like if they try to cast Obosh, we can just bounce it back to their hand, right? And then cast. If I bounce the forest now, they just can't cast anything really. They could cast like a 3-drop basically, or a 4-drop with Arbor Elf in play. I mean, if they untap, they're gonna have like 9 mana, so I think I just bounce the forest here. All right. Well, if Venser lives somehow, we do have Ephemerate and Soulherder, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Okay, no bolt. That's something. Opponent replays the forest. They go to attacks. I happily take 2 damage. All right, they didn't cast anything. I think the play is Soulherder, hold up Ephemerate, even though I can just go straight into Siege Rhino here. All right, they are not responding, so it's possible I should just rip the Ephemerate right now. But I kind of like leaving up defense, so I'll just pass the turn for now. All right, play out the Stomping Ground, tapped. Opponent attacks. I could be greedy here and Ephemerate Venser and eat their Pyromancer. I mean, like, what's the downside? If I Ephemerate Venser and they bolt Venser, then I'm gonna lose Venser anyway, right? They would have ripped their. I guess they. I guess we'll see how it goes. Right? They haven't been playing their bolts or stomps or whatever, so. All right, opponent concedes. So Venser getting us there. The blink's coming through. Does being on the draw change anything? I mean, not really. Super aggressive deck. We kind of have to hope that, you know, we get great early cards like Auriok Champion or Wall of Roots. But I think we just kind of have to run it back. I mean, Deputy, we're against a deck where we're really trying to slow them down. Deputy seems reasonable. Sort of forces them to have exactly Bolt. And they don't have too many ETBs, right? They just have, like, the Seasoned Pyromancer, and I'm probably not going to Deputy that. Maybe I trim... Meddling Mage is a little bit too cute, like I was saying earlier. But Meddling Mage naming Obosh is pretty solid. I don't know. Uncut Meddling Mage. I think Deputy, to try to slow them down, is just going to be more consistent. Because Mage dies to Stomp, Into Lightning Bolt. Astrolabe fixes the mana, draws us a card. I really like your deck, by the way. Thank you, opponent. Thank you. I'm having a pretty rough league. Yeah, Clothis. Very good call, Faust. So 4 lands, Chord against an aggro deck. We can gain life with Knight, or on turn 3, blow up like one of their... turn 3 on the draw? We're going to be leaning pretty hard on like our top decks if we keep this hand. Isn't this only your second match? Nah, it's my third. Punted what should have been a win. Yeah, whatever. I don't need to explain my whole life to my opponent. I kind of feel like we might need to roll the dice on this hand. Although Court of Calling is semi-dead this early in the hand. We don't have any ramp. We are, I guess, in theory, fairly resistant to Magus, which is one of their sort of powerful lines. Opponent's being real nice. I think I keep this. Let's roll the dice. Opponent thought it was Bant Control, but seeing Soulherder made him so happy. We have a Discord if you'd like to stop by. I can get you a link. Arbor Elf. Come on, not land. Please, no lands. Off the top, one time, deck. Do me proud. No lands. All right, let me get a link for this gentleman here. How do I do this? There we go. Never. No limit. Generate a link. Copy that. Mamba Jamba and go back. Oh, I drew a non-land, which is decent. You have got me wanting to play Soulherder. I'm gonna say I gave him the link. It's super duper fun. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and get a basic forest here. Don't want to draw too many more lands. Obviously. Astrolabe. Draw us a 2-drop. Do it. 2-drop. 2-drop. Drum roll. Opponent making me wait for it. Ugh, another land. Ugh. That was why I cracked the fetch land. Not supposed to give us another land after you crack the fetch land. All right, curving out. Oh, well, Seal of Fire. Not exactly curving out. I can blow up the Seal of Fire. Actually, Knight of Autumn is pretty terrible in the face of Seal of Fire, right? Because it just dies no matter what. Double Fencer. Yikes. All right, well, we've got no plays here, so I guess I just play out my basic island, and then we're set to just play our Tangle lands in subsequent turns. Jeez, what an awkward hand. They sack it in response. Well, I'm just saying, like, if the trigger goes on the stack, so they can sack it in response to the +1 counters, and it just dies. Our Tron opponent earlier did like a Warping Whale or Spatial Contortion it was. Oh, you are not just passing the turn, opponent. So yeah, 4 life is going to be the way to go here. Just cuz, right? Like, what else are we going to do? Oh man, oh, don't play a land. I was hoping you didn't play a land, because then I can just bounce things. All right, just playing a creature. I can dig it. All right, drawing some stuff, guys. We're kind of in it, but the opponent is going to have 5 mana next turn. Yeah, I just have to gain 4 life. Oh, man, this is ridiculous. They get to not kill Knight of Autumn, and then they get to play Obosh. This is 4 damage plus 8 damage plus 2 damage. It's just like such a... It's just crushing me. Well, yeah, we don't have a choice. Actually, I could draw the Seal of Fire by putting the +1 counters on it. I don't know. I think Gain in Life is probably the way to go. If they try to go face with Seal of Fire, then we can potentially start blinking Knight of Autumn at some point. Gain that life. Man, Obosh, super unfair. And we've got more life gain in hand with Siege Rhino, but it's like we can only hold them off for so long. I guess, oh, they just sacked it. All right, well, that's something. I guess so Obosh, we're going to get just aided right now, if that's what they go with. In which case, you know, sort of whatever. I guess I could Venser Obosh. Or any number of other kinds of things. We just have to not die, basically. We've got some nice choices in hand, and then we're going to be able to follow up with Urian, in theory. Soulherder is also pretty interesting. I kind of like just jamming Siege Rhino. I mean, if they have like a, Siege Rhino would mean that they can't... I mean, they could clearly have like, Glorybringer, which case, like, we're kind of screwed. Can't really call for anything meaningful right now. We have Venser Obosh during combat and sort of hope that they don't really have much else to do. Rhino does die to a bolt here. Also, I die to a bolt here. Yeah, I think we hold up Venser and just bounce Obosh because it's like at least going to save a bunch of damage, right? And then if they somehow don't have removal for Venser, then we get to, I don't know, play Urian, I guess. Well, they didn't just bolt my face, which seems like it would have been a good option with Obosh on the battlefield. Well, I guess we're sort of seeing... I don't really know if I'm going to block in this spot, though. Like, do I want to trade a Venser for an Arbor Elf? But if I don't, I take 10 damage. Just dead to anything. Just dead to anything. Opponent's like, what? Vapor Snag. Oh, wait, no. So now I block Arbor Elf, and it doesn't do double damage. So if they have a Stomp or a Bolt right now, it's pretty rough. But if they had it, I think they would have just thrown it at my face last turn. I don't know. But hopefully we get to... Oh, wait. What's... Oh, they're going to double damage to my face right now? Oh, no, they just Burst Lightning Venser. That's interesting timing. I guess, whatever. They did have the removal. But I am just going to take 5 here. Maybe an Ephemerate off the top would be just nutty because... But now they can't replay unless they have a land. But I think maybe they played a land already. Now they can't play Obosh again. I guess they have something else to play. Yeah, Blood Moon does do something here. It means that I can't play my Siege Rhino. Sort of obnoxious. Does mean I can play my Hallowed Fountain. Could also play Urian here, blink the Astrolabe. Then they play out Obosh, and I can kill a Bone Crusher, trade it for Urian. Don't really need double green for anything this turn. Blood Moon is such an interesting choice to me. Like, after you see our strategy, we did get super got by Magus of the Moon in our previous match, or 2 matches ago, because the previous match was 8 rack and they only played like 2 turns. And they basically have to tap out to play Owash, but they do have an extra mana with Arbor Elf. Forge Tender is a decent one. A decent one. But our mana is fairly constrained at this point. Ugh. Okay. All right, well, they played a land. So, all right, well, guess we block. And then Bolt should kill us if they have the last card in hand as Bolt. Okay. Uro is a very interesting draw. So I think this turn we kind of have to go like Burrington, Uro, right? Resolve. Come on. Resolve. Don't slow roll this lightning bolt, opponent. There we go. Come on, Uro. Take us home. So I could cord right now. I could cord right now using Uro to help. And actually, I could Uro. Sorry, I could cord. No, I can't because I don't have green. Freaking Blood Moon, man. I was getting excited because I could go at like Charming Prince and blink Uro, even though I'm pretty sure I took Charming Prince out of the deck. So we can't do anything at the moment. So I'll just, it is kind of hurting us, right? Because I could play a Soulherder here. All right. Well, next turn we get to play Uro if we don't die. So, and decent chance that we live because the Burrington can like prevent damages. Opponent's flooding out, but they've got something good. Oh my god, why not? Go ahead, opponent. Draw those cards. Man, just a straight 3-drop draw 2 in this spot is bonkers. Super unfair. So they draw 2 lightning bolts, and we're just, like, kind of dead. Oh, so this is going to deal 4 damage. It's not going to kill me. I don't have to sack this yet. Wait, what? Did that only deal 2 damage to me? Oh, damage? What? Why didn't it deal 4 damage? Oh, what? I still don't understand. Oh, this has it has an even mana cost. That's funny. Yeah, Faust, we got there. We remembered why that works. It's very funny actually why that works. Whoa, damage can't be prevented. Smart. Okay. Well, anyhow, I was gonna block anyway. But my poor guy went to the graveyard. Oh, I'm drawing my basics now. So now I could cast Siege Rhino if I want to. Can we go like green, white, black? Can we do both? I don't think we can. If we've got 8 mana, so in theory we have enough mana. Green, green, blue, blue, but then we don't have enough to cast Siege Rhino. We could do Siege Rhino. Soulherder probably is the best, right? And then follow up with Uro a little bit later. This is like white, green, black, but hang on, we can't do that either, I think, right? Because we don't have double white and black. We can cord here to make them not attack, which seems decent. Also, just getting Uro down seems decent. Could cast for like the Stonehorn. Uro plus Herder does work, but Herder can't really blink Uro. So I guess it uses the mana efficiently. All right, whatever. Let's do it. Seems reasonable. Man, I'm exiling a lot of gas. A lot of gas. I actually kind of prefer to play the Wall of Roots than the Soulherder. I can almost... Wait, did I just mess that up? Maybe I could have done both. Anyhow, it's a moot at this point. I can still chord here, I think, now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 mana if I want to do something with a 2-drop. Ugh, what do you got, opponent? Another Pyromancer. And he still has this guy in exile as well, so... Well, I have a feeling we're going to want to set up blocks here. Like, we can kill Obosh just by blocking with Uro. I don't know. They're just going to cast this Bone Crusher. I mean, if we get an Ice Fang, then we're going to take a bunch of damage from these guys. So let's see how they attack. All right, no attack. So I don't think I can rip the cord here because I think we do need to stop their attacks, basically. I've got 3 mana, can't really do anything with it. Ephemerate is interesting. So cord for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then we can go get Stone Horn and play Soulherder and potentially have up Ephemerate, I think. So if we go like this... Nah, Lavinia doesn't stop Obosh, and I can always get to Lavinia eventually, I think. All right, so then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. We say done. We get Stonehorn. We play Soulherder. And we hold up Ephemerate, protect our dudes. So let's keep track. We're gonna blink. We have blinked 2 attack steps here at this point. I mean, yes, to put my life total at like a more comfortable spot, I could have done that. But I kind of like the line of like this way, leave up Ephemerate. If they're going for lethal, I can always just blink Uro. It's not super amazing, but you know, it is what it is. I think if opponent had bolt, they would have played it at this point. So I don't really have to play around anything. So we still have 1 attack in the bag. I don't feel like ripping Ephemerate is that good right here. So now we're going to play Rhino. Green, white, black, red. Siege Rhino. Yeah, I had to use my white and my black, so unfortunately I don't have Ephemerate up, but I do have Venser up. I I feel like I can attack with Uro in this spot. We do have an attack. We have a an attack in the bag, so I think I'm going to blink the Siege Rhino here. Also, I could Venser the Blood Moon and then Ephemerate if I needed to do that. Is my next combat still skipped? I said, not sure, smiley face. Yeah, that's public information. I don't have to tell my opponent about that. Stonehorn does stack. I'll tell the opponent that. Opponent drew pretty hot at the beginning, but is drawing fairly poorly at this moment. Glorybringer, I think I might as well just Venser that thing. Right, it's not, they can't attack anyway. So actually, maybe I just since I can't attack anyway, I think I'll just Venser Blood Moon and Ephemerate. I can Ephemerate Siege Rhino and just win. So opponent is empty-handed. I'm just going to bounce Blood Moon, Ephemerate Siege Rhino, and then it's just catch the rebound and win. Well, I think the lock got me. Well, bolts are a thing, but I'm gaining life. Go, Mr. Venser. All right, Venser bounces this thing. I say okay. We blink the Siege Rhino. And what? Well, opponent was really psyched on Soulherder, so this is a decent sort of display of what we can do. Excuse me. I might be able to dig out of the hole that I have gotten myself into in this league. He says this is sweet. I agree. I love this nonsense. He was so confused when he saw Stonehorn game 1. Yeah, it's just main deck, man. How we do. Siege Rhino. And I can attack for the lols. I know he has a Blood Moon in hand at this point. Actually, let's see. Before your end step, this match was really fun. Really fun anyway. Great games. Thank you. Pyro is busted. I just want to share that opinion. Opponent was at like 0 cards, 2 consecutive turns, like ripped Pyromancers. So opponent really likes the deck and hopes I do well in the rest of the league. Thank you. Please stop by the Discord. It's a pretty great place. Lots of discussion. Good luck to you as well. I guess I can drag this out so you guys can sort of see it. Opponent chatting us up. There we go. The priority's on them at this point, so nothing for me to do. Oh, they're gonna let me play this out. That's cool. Scroll down. I might talk with you soon, then with the Discord. Cool. Let's begin combat. I'm going to attack with Uro because he's a champ. And then for style points, I'm going to play Eternal Witness, get back Court of Calling, get like, I guess I'll just get Ephemerate. It's all kind of silly. I'm not going to waste this guy's time. Just go to my end step. I know what he has in hand, but it's like at a certain point, opponent says capital letters. I love it. Yes, let's use it. Now, can I bounce Venser and then still play? Nah, hang on. Bounce. No, I can't. Bounce Venser, pick up Siege Rhino, and then replay Siege Rhino. Green, white, black. Yeah, I can do that. I'm just gonna stop being stupid at this point. It is. I was gonna blink Venser and then cast Rhino for the lulz. But your time is valuable. Opponent says they appreciate it, so I don't know. You guys can see the chat now. Thanks for being a nice Magic player. We need more of us around. All right, so with this we're gonna be level, right? Well, that was pretty cool. They got out Obosh and they did a bunch of scary attacking. I think we whiffed a few top decks in the middle of the game where they drew some lands and Arbor Elves. Yeah, but anyhow, we're at 23 life against the aggro deck. All right. I should tell the guy I'm streaming this right now. Yeah. Draw those cards. What do we got? Oh, good stuff. At least the first two were good. All right. So I think we can go ahead and just disconnect here. Really nice match. Let's check out if the opponent is on the board. They are not. Sideboard, Cyborg. All right, guys. We are 2-2 going into the last round. We have a chance to actually, go positive in this league after the most ridiculous start. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be right back. 1 second. So, Swizzy, Stonehorn is definitely main deck. I was saying at the very beginning of the stream when I sort of was going over the this current build, and for those of you guys who don't notice it, I think on the left side there is a link to the exact list that I'm playing right now. Not a link, but the Cardboard Live. So, geez, getting off track here. Yeah, I was explaining that with 80 cards, we have obviously like a chunk that is just devoted to kind of flex stuff, right? And I guess sort of no reason to not play Lavinia and Stonehorn in 80 cards. They're just so powerful in so many matchups. Like the plan is really just ramp, cord for one of those things, and then just kind of cruise. So completely agree. Also, just while I'm over here, I really like this build. Not really sure about these two. They haven't done a ton in this league. It's possible I should just go up to more assassin trophies or really just stay on 4 paths. Honestly, like sort of half considered with these was, first of all, just that path has been doing me really well. Second, like I don't want this to be a black deck. Like I just want to splash like Siege Rhino, just like a tiny little dash of black. And when your removal requires that 4th color, like it starts to get pretty sketchy, right? So you get opening hands where you wouldn't need to get black mana until like turn 6, but now all of a sudden you have to get black mana online like right away. So I imagine I'm probably going to take these things out. I'm going to finish the league with them. This doesn't affect that, but I think I'm just going to go back to the paths. It's such a powerful card in so many spots. All right, so let's jump back in. And I will certainly not here anymore in the Discord. Big apologies to anybody that was bothered by it, but obviously if you were bothered by it, you wouldn't be here listening at this point. There was I was mentioning earlier, there's a guy in the Modern Creature Toolbox community Discord that was like every time when I streamed, he was like pinging for some random stream. I don't even think it was like a Soulherder deck or like a Creature Toolbox deck. It was just for like a modern event or something. And I didn't like being pinged for that, but I would love to be pinged if somebody was going to stream Merfolk or if somebody was going to stream Soulherder. Winning the die roll. It's a nice start. This is definitely a keep. Unfortunately, only 1 fetch, but it's enough. Opponent kept their 7 as well. Already got double green. It's possible I just want to go double blue. But double blue is sorted with this anyway. It doesn't really matter too much. Just thinking it through. Let's see. Blue or green? Blue or green? I mean, the green demands in the deck are generally higher with cord and everything, so I'll just get green. Hey. I mean, these guys are kind of like fighting each other right now. But they're really strong cards, and we've got at this point... Oh, who am I playing against? I'm playing against a Urian deck. What do you got, opponent? No Astrolabes. Oh, Abundant Growth. What is going on? Lavinia. Oh man, I have no 2-drops. That's pretty lame, actually. Well, anyhow, let's get that breeding pool on the battlefield. All right, so next turn, probably just gonna cast Uro. Opponent probably playing some kind of like control deck. With the Astrolabe, I mean, my lands don't really matter a ton here. So kind of like just getting a basic. And I'll just go for Uro. If they want to like mono-leak the Uro, he just goes and chills in the graveyard for a little while. All right, they let it go. Totally possible we're playing against a Soulherder opponent. A deck, give me lands, I love it. I don't want to Ephemerate right now because I won't be able to catch the rebound, but I'm going to go ahead and play this Temple Garden tapped. So we are going to hit our lands right on time. Opponent plays a Coatl, fair enough. It also is a fetch. It's gonna feed the Uro. Oh, so it is a control deck. It is an Uro deck, but they're tapping out. That's awesome. What can I do next turn? I guess I could cast Orion, just get it on the battlefield. Soulherder is pretty sweet, but as a 3-drop, it doesn't really use my mana as efficiently as I could. It's possible that with their board state, the opponent just jams. I mean, Field of Ruin. I'm just thinking it might be control based on Field of Ruin. I don't know. Like if I play Eternal Witness, I can hold up Ephemerate. It doesn't really do a lot. It just gets us lands back in our hand, which is something. It's sort of like Wrenn and 6. Could also just get Lavinia down. As a 5-drop, it's like I don't think it's going to do a ton here, but I mean, Lavinia is a 4/4. I kind of like trying to get the loop going, like Eternal Witness, Ephemerate, back a land. Maybe just Ephemerate back Uro, I don't know. I think I will let Uro chill in there for a little while. I mean, maybe by cracking the fetch now, I'm kind of representing I have an Ice Fang or something, I guess. Get the Windswept will let us get an Overgrown Tomb if we want to. Again, I feel like the opponent just probably has to tap out for Orion. Would love to draw a path if that's the case. Got to try to not fall behind on time. I'm already almost 2 minutes behind. Too much talking. Possibly the opponent doesn't have a 5th land. How are you guys doing in chat? You still with me? What do you think the opponent's playing? We haven't seen white mana, but they're almost certainly on it. Do we think this is some kind of control deck running Abundant Growth, or do we think it's like a Soulherder deck playing Field of Ruin? I mean, given the prevalence of control and the complete lack of prevalence of yeah, okay, so Stoneforge, we still don't know a ton about the deck. Are they running counter spells? Are they running coiling oracles? Like what's going on? Sword of Feast and Famine. Maybe they just cast that right now. Should be interesting, because then we could just play Lavinia and prevent them from equipping it. Oh, they cast another Uro. All right, you got it, opponent. This does let them play another land. If they have it. Looks like they don't have it. So yeah, look at that. I mean, I guess representing the Coatl had some kind of effect. I guess I might as well Ephemerate here, right? I mean, if we're gonna get to Uro, we'll get to it eventually. Next turn I can play 2 3-drops. I can play like Eternal Witness, Soulherder, something like that. I feel like Uro is probably the take here. kind of like if I play Lavinia, then they can't activate Stoneforge. All right, I just drew the Overgrown Tomb naturally, huh? And while they're tapped out, I might as well crack my fetch land. All right, well, it's narrowed to about a minute and a half difference in time, so let's try to keep that up. Opponent cannot currently cast Uro from the sideboard, from the graveyard. They can cast Urian here, blink a whole bunch of stuff. Seems like gas, but at the same time, if they tap out again, then we're going to get to do some good stuff on our turn, I think. They're just passing, huh? Weird. I think I should go for the Ephemerate, let them like counter it if they want to. Yeah, I mean, seems fine, right? Well, I mean, it just gets back a land. But we do have the mana. Like, if they're holding something up, go for it, opponent. Mana leak. Oh, all right. Totally fine. So do they have like Mana Leak and Archmage's Charm or something like that? All right. So can't really attack here. I think the play is like start with Eternal Witness and then follow up with Soulherder. Yeah. Opponent is going to be able to cast Uro next turn, which is rough for us. We need to find a path to exile at some point. Opponent lets it resolve. I can cast Uro now. Well, they do have access to... I'm going to try to cast Soulherder. No guts, no glory. If they counter it, again, it might just fuel the Uro. They'll let it go. So even though they can get their equipment onto the battlefield, they will not be able to attack with it, which is something. And these Ephemerates are going to start growing the Soulherder, which is also nice. Yeah, that could be true. I still have Urian just chilling, basically. And board wipes could be a thing for sure. Opponent's just passing. I think I am going to go for Ephemerate again, because why not? Let's track of their lands. They're currently on 6. Opponent doesn't like these Ephemerates. Cryptic Command. It's like, what am I getting back from my graveyard? I'm just getting back a land. So, I mean, I don't know. At this point, they didn't counter the Uro. I guess I could probably just escape that guy now. Seems decent-ish. But I could also just Ephemerate the Lavinia and crack in for 7. Doesn't seem terrible. Like, just try to get a little bit ahead. Oh, well, you know what? I think I want to cast... Urian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Because then if Urian resolves, then I can always ephemerate in response to a board wipe. Stupid Ice Fang keeping back attacks. All right, it resolves. I love it. So now we just start making Soulherder big, I guess, right? Oh, wait. I'm going to use this ephemerate, I think. Seems correct. They could have two paths, but whatever. Force of negation. Fair enough. We do want to use the ability. I'll go ahead and get a swamp. All right, so Soulherder is exiled. We've got Uro for next turn. We are going to blink a bunch of stuff, unless the opponent also has another path for something else. Be pretty rough. So I'm super tapped out here. I guess I do want to get Uro back. Just get back whatever gas I can from the graveyard. Let's go. I drew a land. Awesome. Not what I wanted. All right, opponent is on 3 cards. I am still like 2 minutes behind. I let myself sort of slip a little bit at the beginning of the game. Opponent's on 6 lands. We're on like 8,000 lands. But if they have a Wrath, we're not great, right? They don't have double white at the moment. Oh, they do have double white at the moment. All right, so it looks like that's what they have. It's unfortunate that we're totally tapped out. But, well, we can chord for Witness, or just play Uro. I think playing Uro just like gets ahead a little bit, and then we can chord whenever we want for whatever. Hang on a sec. I want to crack this Vista. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Chord for Witness, get back Witness. Well, we could always do that whenever. Okay, Venser is a good start. Double Venser. Kind of weird. Could probably tap my lands a little bit different there and have Venser up here, which is a bit of a punt. Opponent going for Teferi, which I really wish that I could Venser, but I can just potentially just try to Venser on my turn. And then we've got it up again for next turn. Opponent cannot do much else. They just play a Mystic Sanctuary, probably putting Cryptic back. Oh, they put Supreme Verdict back. Okay. So, one's got 2 cards in hand currently, Supreme Verdict on top of the deck. The chord is great because it will let us rebuild after a board wipe. Let's straight to attacks, see what the opponent's got for us. Actually, you know what? Maybe I don't even have to bounce to Fairy. Just attack this guy. Let's see. They've got so what do I want to do here? I can just double Venture this thing. Kind of like that. So I really want this Uro to get through. Oh, wait. Damn it. I should have done it on the stack. Ah, Mistakes after mistakes. I actually can't double Venser anyway right now. Sorry, so maybe I just have to let Uro bite the dust. And then, you know, just cast him again at some point. Actually, I guess we just get Deputy down and then hold up. Hang on a sec, I could probably do a lot of stuff. Green, white, black, green. Siege Rhino. Okay. Then I think we want to Deputy and then hold up Venser. Actually, yeah, Venser for Verdict, right? Because they don't have all the white to cast Verdict twice. All right. Of course, opponent can just switch gears and try to cast Uro. They could counter my Venser, but we are going to try to do it. I mean, they've been sitting on 2 cards, so the idea that one of them is a counterspell doesn't seem so far-fetched. Although actually we know that one of them is Teferi. So they pay 4 mana, and they cast... Wait, what are you tapping here? I don't think they have double white at this point. Oh, it's just Uro. That's sort of fine. Okay, so now we're going to untap and the world is our oyster, basically, right? So I don't have Urian right now, but I could chord for it, which seems really strong. Chord for Eternal Witness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then have Xaxes to cast Urian. Now, we do have to stop the Verdict from happening again. Although maybe we don't, because I can do... You know what? I kind of want to deal with this Uro. I'm falling behind on time again. Bounce the Uro, swing for 8, 7. Do I want to Siege Rhino again is the question. Maybe I just chord for... If we just bounce their white sources, I think we could be pretty good. Like, bounce a white source, chord for... Siege... chord for... Soulherder. Come on, Venser, do it. What are you doing? Oh, I have to choose the one that I keep. I'll keep that one. Blink Deputy, Kill Teferi is another line. Kind of nice. I actually really like that line. I'm gonna do it. And then I think I can still get... Soulherder. Man, I'm gonna run out of time. I'm so slow. Maybe I just want to chord for, like, Resto. Blink Venser. to counter, because they're going to be able to go like Field of Ruin, and then, well, they only get one white. They play another white, Field of Ruin, get white, play the white, and then I think they have Verdict up anyway. So I think I just have to pass here, guys. And then we're just going to try to resto the Venser, basically. Huh. Well, now they definitely can't cast Verdict right now. So, oh, did they play a land yet? They did not. But I still don't think. Oh wait, they can cast Verdict, huh? So maybe I just want to tuck away with like Prince, like tuck a Siege Rhino away. But they're gonna get, man, they're gonna get Uro back. Oh wait, I can cord for another. I can cord for another Venser to bounce this thing. I have to cord in response. Oh, you know what? I can cord for Resto. If this resolves, I'll just get Resto and bounce this. Oh wait, they haven't played a land yet, so they can just, this is so tricky. But now they can just wipe my board, right? I'm messing this up. I needed to I realized bouncing white wasn't a really good line when I started to go for it. I can like play Eternal Witness and get back Urian. But then it's, I don't know, it's just round and round we go, you know? Eternal Witness getting back Court of Calling. Restoration Angel, just bounce. Bounce Astrolabe. I really want them to not cast Supreme Verdict. That's like the most important thing. So if there's something I can do that makes that happen, just bouncing a land might do it. It doesn't do it. But bouncing Astrolabe might. They play it, play a land, play Astrolabe. They have white. No, I think they still have it. So if blowing up Astrolabe might do it, actually. Yeah, I think that actually does it. I'm going to try to do that, guys, and maybe it's a punt, but we'll see. I'm running out of time. Oh, but they can just float white mana. I'm so dumb. I'm dumb. We're going to have to rebuild with a Siege Rhino and just hope that my stupidity is not punished. I'm just like feeling like under the clock. Oh, they just floated blue. It's kind of ridiculous. What are they playing here? Oh, they just cast Uro. Huh. So that's 17 life. We're still defending against a Wrath, which is a pretty bad place to be in. Venser, bounce Uro, kill Teferi, I guess. Oh, what? Oh, I can't cast it because Teferi. Man. I can kill Teferi if I attack in, but I can't really. I'm just going to get Wrathed. I think that's game. I think I just have to scoop. Going to attack in to kill Teferi. This game has gone so off the rails. Man, I really thought I had it for a minute too. But now we know that they have the Supreme Verdict just chilling in hand. And now they have a path or something, I guess, here. So I'm just getting wrecked. This is just like destruction. It's Ice Fang. So Teferi lives. Gets to eat my Siege Rhino. Gets to eat Deputy. It might not be. I guess he gets a trigger from another Uro. If I'm going to have any chance at winning this, I think I just have to scoop, guys. Oh, what a bummer. What a bummer that was. I don't know if there was anything I could have done. Honestly, the opponent should have just wrathed my board, but they didn't for some reason. I guess they locked me out anyway. So we definitely want to play Veils, and we need to play really fast. I need to win these games in like 5 minutes. So it's kind of like aggro versus control. I need to think of it like that. I guess Revoker's probably worth it. Meddling Mage, probably kind of worth it. Lavinia, not necessary. Stonehorn, not necessary. Abrupt Decay is particularly in the deck to deal with Teferi, so I'll take the Paths out, even though they're decent against Orion. Scavenging Ooze, decent against Mystic Sanctuary. I mean, against Control, I don't know. We do need to win fast, so I'm going to keep in all my ramp. I'm just going to kind of go full tilt, and if they kill us, if they wipe our board, then we're already down a game. We can't really afford to play so delicately. Knight of Autumn, probably not super necessary in the matchup. Yeah, let's just go on like the Siege Rhino plan. Veil of Summer Siege Rhinos. Charming Prince can potentially protect us, so keep that in. Maybe I'll trim. Adventures are good, particularly on the play. So I'll trim one Soulherder, and I guess against Path to Exile decks, maybe Uro is slightly less necessary. Also, life gain is not super relevant. Okay. So fast, fast, fast. Okay, I think we can keep this. But Prairie Stream is so slow. I kept a little bit too quickly, but I think it's still a keep, and we hope to draw off of Astrolabe in the next draw step, like another basic land, in which case, then yeah, the hand is pretty solid. Opponent mulligans to 6. Okay, let's do this. Land, basic island, basic plains, basic anything, honestly. Venser, not a basic land. Oh, pretty slow from the opponent, but pretty slow from us, it looks like. Ah. Terrible. Opponent representing their own Coatl. That was a good rip. I'm just going to go for Soulherder here. If they mono-leak it, they mono-leak it. So we've got Cord, not online yet. We need green, more green for that, but close. Abundant Growth, opponent trying to draw cards. They hit a land, or at least, let's see. Okay, opponent pays the life. Maybe they have another Coatl in hand. Oh, right, that's pretty sick. Maybe we just go to end step. Actually, hang on a sec. No. We're not going to go to end step. We're going to cast our Venser and hope that they have another Ice Fang. Don't counter this, opponent. Blah. All right, well, it's ramping us, so whatever. And we've still got a Venser, we've still got a Cord. We can Cord for Soulherder. We have a Charming Prince, so that'll get another blink out of Venser. Also, Urian will get a blink out of Venser, so let's see what the opponent does on their turn. think we just cast Urian. It's like the highest impact, I guess. Or you know what? I'm going to cast Prince. I'm actually going to attack. Actually, I'm not going to attack. I'm going to be a little bit more sensible. Okay, and now we're just going to pass and do Ice Fang on their turn. With them tapped out, I think I'm just going to go ahead and play my Ice Fang right now. That's sick. Opponent doing a fair amount of damage to themselves. I'm just going to bounce that back into their hand. Unless they have another path. Oh, maybe they have, like, they could have a mystical dispute. That would be pretty obnoxious. We're going to chord for Resto here. Need to hurry. Use the mana. Come on. Do need to get more blinks here, so I think I do have to cast Urian. Actually, I'm going to go Witness. Get that Ephemerate. Holding up Ephemerate and Veil. I'm going to go to attacks. So we've got Ephemerate. If they try to tap out for something like Teferi, we can just Ephemerate Venser, bounce the spell. This is all fine. Not gonna play anything if I don't have to. Fair. You got it, opponent. Yeah. Green, white, green. Oh wait, black. The Monolith. Ether Gust. Yeah, we can't veil that. We'll go top. I have to hustle though. Oh, I tapped out through Veil. That was poor. I don't know if I could have done it differently though to get the mana that I needed. Yeah. GG opponent. Just save time. I'm just going to say no and attack. There's nothing they can do here. All right, so I can win games in 3 minutes. It's possible. Opponent could never resolve a board wipe in that spot because I have Venser. I don't know, like I don't know what they could have done in that spot where not having Veil up would have been like an issue. All right, well, I mean, I've given myself 5 minutes to win a game against Control to end the league positively. I wonder if I should be playing Knight as a 4/3. I imagine it's probably going to be better than some other cards. Meddling Mage, like, what is it going to name? It's probably just going to name Supreme Verdict, I guess, and we're just going to go like completely all out, and they're going to path it and whatever. But maybe even Thragtusk as a beater. Sideboard out. A Birds. Nope, not a Birds. A Hierarch. Actually, both one wall. One wall. That's fine. All right, heads down. I'm going to lose to time, but I did it to myself. All right, this is about, it's kind of rough. We're going to keep it and hope to draw out of it. Opponent's mulliganing. We are way short on the mana that we need. But on the draw, we've got a lot of lands in the deck. Opponent's on 5. Let's go, deck. Come on. No, not there. Come on. Could easily get punished for this, but I'm low on time. I'm playing the odds anyway as things stand. All right, well, not the best. Come on, lands. Lands. Yes. Okay, so we're just going to pass. Another Ether Gust, maybe. I'm gonna go bottom again, I think. Making my decisions like super fast, but Ether Gust plays so neatly around Veil, but I don't... Okay, they missed a land drop, I think. Let's see. Nice. Okay. Not sure that was the best use of my mana. All right, we got some Exalted. Pass, I guess. Gotta go all out. If opponent has another counterspell, it's gonna tap them out. Okay. I don't know. Get a land here, I guess. Ugh, okay. I want to land off the top. I guess I can get one with the Eternal Witness if I really want one. Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, I need to get Ephemerate. I know they've got a Wrath, but whatever. Like, I can't do anything about it. Okay, well, that was a decent draw. Gotta get your Ryan down, and then I can play around the Wrath. Teferi's just messing up my whole thing now. Because I can't cast these Ephemerates. I would have cast Urian, but Teferi is going to prevent me from using the Ephemerates to save my team. And now the opponent has a board wipe. Huh. Okay. Rebuild. Ah, so stupid. Oh, I needed it. Teferi bounce just kills me, guys. Why am I losing to time? It's so stupid. All right, I'm not gonna stress too much over the last 20 seconds. All right, well, as usual, very interesting stuff, but pretty dependable punts on my part. Like, I should have beaten Tron in round 1. I lost to Ponza. I think they just had really good cards, to be sort of fair to myself, but we shouldn't be losing to Ponza. It's like one of our best matchups. I beat 8-Rack because they scooped to me in like turn 3 of game 1. We lost to Green Red Obosh. No, I beat Green Red Obosh against a really nice guy. And then I just lost to my own clock, which is a really, really obnoxious way to end the league. You never want it to happen. You certainly don't want it to happen when there's a lot riding on a given game. But, you know, I guess when I realize that I'm playing against any kind of grindy deck, I should sort of from like the first minute of the match switch into a kind of fast playing mode. There's no reason like game 2 I won in 3 or 4 minutes. There's no reason I have to dirtle so much against a control deck. Like, you know, there's going to be decisions to be made, but you know, odds are, if I'm thinking that much about like if this is better, that's better, they're pretty close, and against a deck that plays board wipes, you're probably just going to get your board reset a couple times anyway, and just playing faster is going to give you a much better chance to win the match, I think. I can still recommend the deck to people, even though, the league performance was suboptimal. 2-3. Did not get back our entry, only got back 50 play points. Maybe there's one too many Vencers, honestly. Like, the whole legendary thing came up a bunch this evening. And if we want to cord for 2, we do have them. But I feel like the third might be a little bit extra. I do kind of want to switch back to the 4 paths. I feel like in most of the matchups this evening, it was just going to be better. Let's see, against Ponza, I guess against Tron, not, but it wasn't Eldrazi Tron. So in that matchup, I guess the trophy actually would be pretty good. I should have won that match anyway, though. Against 8-Rack, again, Path not that amazing. Actually, it's pretty bad. So first 2, well, that was one of the first 2. After that was Ponza, in which case Path, I think, is just going to be superior. And then there was green-red Obosh, in which case all the removal is fine, but Path as being, 1 mana super efficient spell is probably the way to go. And then I guess against Control, obviously Path is better against Uro. Abrupt Decay is better against Teferi. Anyhow, pretty rough league. I haven't been playing leagues in a while. I feel like I need to start jumping back into them. So the format's going to be changing with the new companion rule adjustment, and I guess the format will be shifting, and so hopefully it will be a little bit more diverse, a little bit more mixed up than it has been in the past. Honestly, this league, I can't complain about the metagame. I mean, it was pretty diverse. It was Tron, Ponza, like legit just Ponza, and we lost. So sad. Tron, Ponza, 8-Rack, Obosh, and then Control. So, a nice mix. I mean, playing in queues is sort of fine and fun and whatever. There's nothing negative about it. It's just that the people who are playing the format, I guess what you could say the most seriously, are typically in the leagues. And the reason I've been avoiding them is just because I was getting tired of, running into Lurrus Jund, Lurrus Prowess, Lurrus Burn, Lurrus Boggles, like every single round. So, not a lot of activity in the chat. I guess you guys sort of zoning out here towards the end, and I can't blame you. Did my best against Control, but I need to play faster. So that's about it. If you guys have any sort of closing comments on the build, would be interested to hear them. Though, as I mentioned, I do think I'm going to trim one of these Vencers. Replace it with something. Maybe I'll bring the Meddling Mage back into the main deck. I did play with it in the main for a little while, and it's always nice to have it as a cord target. Not always the best card to just naturally draw, but if you do run into companion decks, you can just go grab it. If you're playing against, like, I don't know, random deck like Hardened Scales, you can just play Meddling Mage and name like Arcbound Ravager. It's a pretty good name. But maybe just either another dork. And you know what? I think I'll probably just trim Venser and put in another dork, because with the extra 3 mana that Orion is going to cost, I do want to play dorks on early turns more often than not. So that'll be the change that I noticed for this evening, just trimming a Venser in favor of an extra dork. And it never felt bad to draw Soulherder in this league. Honestly, like, Soulherder just has been feeling pretty awesome. Now that we're playing a few more 4-drops, particularly Stonehorn, you want to be able to establish fairly consistent lock when you do play something like Stonehorn or Lavinia. So I do like the 4 Soulherders, and apart from that, deck feels solid. Thanks as always for joining me, guys. Sorry I couldn't have done better in the league, or sorry I didn't do better in the league. I could have actually done better, but that's why we play. I love learning, even though it just really burns when I make a stupid mistake. We've got to be able to sort of, like, dust ourselves off and pick ourselves up by our bootstraps, get back to it. So I'm going to be streaming again next on Wednesday with Merfolk. there's some activity in the Merfolk Discord. Rothgar is playing Bant right now with Luris, and it's actually a pretty interesting development for playing Luris in Merfolk, because the cost of getting Luris to hand, really not a huge drawback if you've got Ether Vial, particularly if you've got 2 Ether Vials and you don't feel too bad about ticking one up to 3. But the play pattern I noticed, honestly, is with like blue-white or Bant Merfolk is you just kind of have to dump your hand. It's kind of the type of deck that just naturally overextends a bit. And so at a certain point, Ether Vial just kind of loses its utility anyway, because if you have no cards, you don't really necessarily need to vial in a creature you draw off the top of the deck. You can just play it. So you take Ether Vial up to 3, pay 3 mana, get Luris in hand, and just vial it in. Seems like it could be pretty good. So maybe I'll play some Luris on Wednesday with Merfolk, and maybe I'll see some of you guys there. But until then,